are back with comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. Something's going to give at some point. The damn walls are going to break sooner or later if I keep going the way I'm going. I've given up coffee now. I'm 2 days off coffee. And is it possible that coffee is just fucking liquid anger? Because my anger levels without my fucking 6 coffees a day have gone right down. My peppermint teas are keeping me calm as fuck. I even got cut off in traffic today and I didn't want to get out of the car and rip the grandma out through her window and start smashing her head against the pavement. I didn't even want to do that. And it was a weird feeling not to want to do that. Those peppermint teas are fucking kicking in. I just mix it up. Green tea, peppermint tea, green tea, peppermint tea. This podcast has taken a fucking turn for the worst. Is Boyle talking about peppermint tea now? It's not going to last. I can tell you that right now. My fucking willpower is starting to crack. I walked through the chocolate aisle at the supermarket today and I almost had a full body convulsion. That's where I'm at. I'm about a week and a half away from fucking blowing up the damn wall myself. Just letting that river run through the village and wipe out every villager in its path. That's where I'm at. The green teas aren't going to last. I don't know how much of any of this is going to last, to be honest with you. I've now got nothing. I'm bare bones Boyle. I am down to the bare bones. And I'll tell you this as well. Coffee may have been a cup of pure anger, but it also got me talking as well, because the last 2 days, I really haven't been able to muster more than a couple of sentences in total per day. Besides this podcast. This podcast is 24 hours of me talking condensed into 5 or 6 minutes. Everything that makes you an interesting person and fun to be around, I have removed from my life. And when you take away every single thing that makes you interesting, what you also remove from your life is friends and other human interaction. I still haven't seen a friend of mine that isn't a comedian I was doing a podcast with in, I think it's 10 weeks now. 10 weeks and counting. I was born to isolate. But now I've taken every single vice out of my life entirely. And I'm the purest Boyle probably ever. Probably since I was a kid. I probably haven't been this pure since before we started smoking tea. Like actual tea. Like break open the tea bags, roll it up in paper, and just walk around smoking tea. And I think that's when I was like, I'd say 8, 9, 10. Something like that. When do you usually start smoking tea? Because that's the gateway drug. That's the real fucking gateway drug. If you're smoking tea from tea bags around about 9 or 10 or 11, anytime. If you're smoking tea from tea bags when you're a kid at any stage, you're going to have a long, hard road ahead of you. Other kids are learning the violin, Asian kids, and you're trying to find clag to glue your English breakfast tea joint together. Mate, you might as well skip school and send that kid straight to bricklaying course, because that's the real gateway drug. Actually, before tea, we used to find little bits of bark off the tree that was sort of rolled into a cigarette and would spark them up and smoke the bark. So if you're smoking bark or tea or anything like that, none of this bodes well for your future. So right now, today, I am more pure than I was when I was 6. Yes, I've dirtied my soul. Yeah, I may have done irreparable damage to that little dot of eternal light energy they call your soul. Yes, I've damaged it. Okay, yes, I've done some damage to my brain and body as well. My mind may be a little bit scrambled, and my body doesn't seem to be doing what it should be doing for someone who is off everything. And so being as pure as I am now, what have I learnt? I haven't learnt a fucking thing. Do you know why? Because it takes all my fucking energy to stop the fucking damn wall collapsing that I haven't even got time to think. I can't take my hands off the damn wall for a fucking second. If I even scratch my nose, that thing is coming down. It is collapsing. But this wall is coming down, I would say, within the next week and a half, 2 weeks. And I'm just wondering what that collapse is going to look like. is that collapse going to look like I'm back on the fucking darts? I'm chain smoking because I'm fucking hanging for a ciggy now too. I think I may have pushed it just a little bit too far, taking out the coffees. That might come back to bite me. Is it going to be me eating like 3 ice creams a day again? What is it going to look like? I went for a run yesterday because my body was just screaming out for something. Just fuck me up in some way. Just do something bad to it. That's what it was asking me to do. So I was like, fuck it, I got to go for a run. Like I had to go for a run. Like if it was my decision, obviously I wouldn't have gone for a run. And then I went for a run. And every single time I go for a run, it just fucking confirms to me how much I hate fucking running. Is there anything worse than running? And is there anything worse than people who enjoy running? I've got a fucking idiot friend of mine who's messaging me every second day going, I ran 18 Ks today. I ran 28 Ks yesterday, and it was a fasted run too. I hadn't eaten. I'm like, do you know how no one likes hanging out with you? This is the main reason. And that's coming from me who hasn't seen a friend in 10 weeks. And I still wouldn't want to come see you. So enough with the running. I know I've said most of this before, but I think you might need advice at some point. Unless you're going to give up everything entirely and just detach yourself from all sense gratification. And I heard someone talking on a podcast, I think it might have been Joe Rogan, the $100 Million Man, one of his podcasts, an MMA guy was on, and he's all into like fucking spirituality and shit. And he said he knows a couple like who are into Buddhism and they've renounced sex. Like they don't have sex anymore. He doesn't jerk off. They don't do anything. And he asked him, he's like, what do they do for fun then? And the guy said to him, well, I go on long drives. Yeah, I know you go on long drives. And it takes all your fucking Buddhism not to steer that car head on into the semi coming the other way, doesn't it? I think what I'm going to do tomorrow, I'm going into the studio to do my other podcast tomorrow. I think I might buy myself a big fucking Cuban cigar. A fucking Cohiba. There's a cigar shop down the road. I think I'm looking at about $180, $200 investment on that. That's probably not going to come back to haunt me as we speed into the biggest depression the world's ever seen. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fucking buy a cigar tomorrow. I'm going to fucking choke it down. That's going to be my vice. That's quality thinking, isn't it? I'll get addicted to them. I'll have $1,000 a week cigar habit. All right, it's tea o'clock. So that's it for me tonight. Keep sending in your fucked up Friday stories. Subscribe to the podcast. Tell your friends about it. Share it around. Rate, review it. Do all that shit. And I'll see you the fuck later.